why is it hard for Americans to find a brokerage firm or bank in France or the US that wants to service them while living in France? Cedric, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so we kind of touched on that as well. So I think the banks with FATCA, the banks in France have to report, to the IRS. So they don't usually want to deal with Americans. Some do. Sometimes, we see private banks in Monaco. I have some clients that, want to invest and they're Americans or they want to have a bank account, and it's possible. There's some banks that will help, but they're usually going to have a bank account. They want to have an investment account for the clients. And then, and in the US, like we said, most firms in the US don't want to deal with all these rules, regulations. So then it's all about following these rules and the cost and the compliance issues. So then, so I would say it's more and more you see, firms following rules in place, and they, like we said, sometimes it's more of a financial decision.
Mm. And to your point, that's why the bank in Monaco and France would prefer that it's an investment account, so that they know it's worth their while, their effort, the additional compliance burden.
Yeah, because I see a lot of banks in Monaco, and sometimes the minimum could be 1, 5, 10 million for Americans. And the reason why is because of the cost involved. They don't want to deal with an American unless it's worthwhile. So that's why we specialize in helping Americans in France, just because there's really nothing out there. There's not many people are licensed in France and in the US. So it's almost impossible for people to find someone that's knowledgeable.
Mm. So in that case, what would be your role? Would you act as an introducer, or, what role do you play in helping that US taxpayer access banking facilities?
Yeah, so pretty much a lot of banks, especially the private banks in France or Monaco, you cannot go straight to them and open the door and open an account. So you have to be introduced by someone or have, above, 5 or 10 million. So what I do is I introduce them, and then we partner together. And depending on the needs, we can help with mortgages, because it's pretty big right now with the wealth tax in France. We can have our clients, Americans, deposit some cash. It could stay in cash, could be invested, but then they can usually leverage that by getting a mortgage with no income requirement of about usually a deposit of 1 million give you a 1.7 million mortgage with no requirements, with a low rate below 5%. So that's the kind of services that we can offer Americans that they probably won't find it on their own, because it's kind of hard to find, but that's what we do.
Okay, fantastic. Any comments on the challenges that foreigners have doing banking in France?
Do you follow Cedric? It is clear that FATCA is a threat for French banks, and they can pay billions of USD if something goes wrong. So small American clients are not interesting for them. And it shows that I have great difficulties for some American clients to open a bank account in France.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it begins to be not only a difficulty for Americans, but also for all countries. Globally, non-residents are not very well considered by French banks. And the problem is that if you have some real estate in France, the French tax office wants a French bank account for paying local taxes, etc.
So you're saying it's not just Americans, but foreigners in general?
I was very surprised to see that a citizen from Luxembourg couldn't open a bank account in France. I have had the case. I don't know exactly why.
Well, I guess to your point, there's a risk. I guess the banks see that there's a risk if they get the slightest thing wrong. It's not just big fines, but reputational risk as well. So they're just going to be super cautious.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.